just us, just you four tonight.
Okay, it's 5:30. We're going to open the Amador County Office of Education board meeting. Board members, all board members are here except for Ms. Kayla Parker. She's at home sick today. Are there any deletions or corrections to the agenda?
There are not.
Okay, number 5, we're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't see anybody for presentations and recognitions. Agenda item number 7, any employee organizations in the room? I see none of those. Number 8, public comments on non-agenda items. I also see none of those. To the consent agenda, number 9. Do we have any questions about the consent agenda? Motion to approve the consent agenda. Number 9. County.
Motion to approve item 9, consent agenda.
Second.
Okay. Go down for the roll call vote. Peter?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
I too am a yes. Item number 10, there's no communications. 11, an action item, a resolution, Amador County Office of Education 2526-07, tax revenue anticipation note. Mr. Norton.
Thank you, Board. The attached Amador County Office of Education resolution seeks authorization from the governing board to participate in the California School Cash Reserve Program for the issuance of the sale of tax and revenue anticipation notes, or TRAN, for the 26-27 fiscal year. So this resolution would authorize the county office to pursue a maximum borrowing limit of $1.5 million. This last year we did this. The years was the first year in a couple years for the county side. But essentially what this does is provides a maximum amount that we can borrow. Doesn't mean that we will. What will end up happening is as we prepare for budget, we'll look at what our cash flow looks like and basically go from there, whether it's needed or not, and execute. What ends up happening is the county office is funded partially by state revenue, but also by local property taxes. And those local property taxes only come at 2 different points throughout the year. And so this can create a cash crunch at 2 different times, usually around October, November, or it's looking at March just prior to April when taxes come in. So because of that, this allows us some to be basically alleviate our cash flow purposes to make sure we have enough cash on hand to be solvent. But this time I recommend the board approve.
Did we pay back the money we borrowed last year?
We will at the end of this month.
So is that something that has to be repaid the next year? It's a very short-term type of loan to bridge these payment gaps?
So it's basically less than a year. It has to be.
Okay.
And so last year what we did, we took it out in July, August. And so then it carried forward until April. And so basically what will happen is this April at the end of the month, we're going to pay it back. And so this one would be for next year. We'll do the same thing.
So I see that it says the cost of issuance is paid from interest earnings. So do we take the whole 1.5, invest it, use what we need, and then pay it back, and whatever it costs us is usually paid by interest we made?
Yeah, and just to give you some perspective, last year the district side's TRAN cost 5%, but our effective rate was really 2.9. And the county, as the treasurer here, last quarter earned 3.5%. So we earned 3.5% on 2.9% cost of issuance. So because of that, we did earn a little bit more. Now, that's assuming that all of our cash was invested the whole entire time. My guess is it was not all that way, but the cost is negligible at that point.
And this is a guaranteed loan we can get?
Because we are qualified, we actually have to then, once this resolution is approved, send it to the CDE for review, where they will determine whether we can make the repayment as probable is their consideration. So assuming that goes through, this should be no problem. Because the tax revenues are going to come in, it's about as guaranteed as you can get for a loan. However, obviously, if we fell even further behind in cash flow purposes, that could become a problem. But our current budget looks good.
Thank you.
Peter, did you have any questions regarding the item?
Just want to clarify, as a, fond property tax payer, right? We pay in December and April, and that's kind of why the timing of this comes due typically about this time of year every year.
It's after the taxes come due in April is when we repay it. And so the two cash flow crunches are always right before those two periods. So that's why it's November is a cash crunch time for us, as well as March, because then we get them in December and April. So yes, you've got it down.
Okay. And you said this is only the second time we've had to do it as the county.
As the county, the district though has done it every year I've been here.
Okay. Should we at all be alarmed that the county's having to do this too, or no?
No, it's it had to do a lot with COVID funds for a minute there because we had a significant amount, which means we didn't need to take out because we just had so much in reserves. And so since our reserves have gotten a little tighter over the last few years, that is part of the reason why it's necessary. We also had a nice Medi-Cal balance even last year, which did help support it a little bit more, but even that we're spending down. So it's not necessarily cost for alarm. We're just basically going back to normal, if you will.
Pre-COVID, this was common.
This
for
was
the
a
county.
practice on both sides?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Does this impact any other portions of the district's or elements of the district's budget?
Well, this shouldn't impact the district because this is just the county.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, I should say the county.
So obviously there is the interest that's owed, but again, as we kind of referenced, that's negligible because of the interest earned on the cash. So yes, there's a relative cost to issuance, and but I believe that cost is fairly small.
So
And
you
we've been
won't,
doing it, so there's no real change in our budget because we already budgeted for it this year. We'll budget for it next year.
it won't impact any of our county functions, county like special ed or anything like that.
Only if we did not do this would it impact our functions.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any questions. With it being an action item, we're gonna need a motion.
Move that we approve item 11, resolution ACOE for 25-2607, the 26-27 tax revenue anticipation note.
Second.
All right, with the roll call, Peter,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
I also am an aye. I'm gonna pass. There are no discussion items. Item 13, the great board policy updates.
Yes. So as a reminder, since we've flipped and had our county meetings first, our cadence for board policies, these items that are up for adoption, 13.1 A and B, those board policies were approved on the district meeting in our end of March meeting. So this is, if it looks familiar, that's because it is. And so we had the first reading last time and we recommend approval. Of course, if there's any new questions you may have, we could do that as well.
I move that we adopt 13.1, the 5,000 and 6,000 series.
Second?
The roll call down the line, Peter,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
I also am a yes. Pass.
So if there's 13.2 as well, which is a first reading. So these will be up for adoption in the board meeting later this evening, having to do with high school graduation requirements and academic credits. So this is not for approval tonight, just a first reading discussion only. Will come back at our next meeting for approval.
All right.
Are there any changes from when we read it? No?
I would just like to note that I'm grateful that we are making it clear that this is something we do. In Manteca Unified, we have a lot of migrant students who miss significant portions of the year, and the reciprocity of giving them whatever credit we can, I think is a very healthy thing. So I'm glad that we are transparent on that we try to validate student effort to the extent we possibly can to give students credit for what they do.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Ken? Any comments, questions? Shane? In the past, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Critchfield, we used to have a word just slipped my mind. Board members would have groups and like subcommittees.
Yeah.
Board members would have subcommittees and go over policies and things like that. Are we all caught up in the board policies as of now?
We are, with all the work we did last spring, we caught up, and so now we're just trying to stay in alignment with the CSBA updates that come to us multiple times throughout the year. And so what we've been doing is when a batch of updates comes, instead of doing them all at once, because sometimes it could be 15 or more board policies, they come every 3 or so months, and so we typically spread those out over the next several board meetings and do 3 to 6 at a time to make it a little bit more digestible. I know it's still a lot, but yeah, I wouldn't say we're behind. We're just still working through the latest batch of updates, but not like last year when we updated hundreds
Right.
of policies.
Was it the board policies where we would create subcommittees of board members to?
Yeah, you can create subcommittees for various functions. That was the most common one here, especially prior to using online Assembly, which was the beginning of your time as a board member, having a subcommittee.
Right.
Because we were going through the binders of board
Correct.
policies and all
That's
that.
right.
It was very cumbersome work.
Okay, that's right. Hoorah to technology.
Yeah.
Okay, with that being said,
That's it for that item.
that item, there's no more. Item number 14 is informational. Would you like us to go over that as well?
Just if there's any questions.
Are there any questions for the board, from the board regarding 14.1 or 2 with the current personnel recommendations or the salary schedule updates?
Just one, which I hope is a very minor question, but if a person has been, their hours have been adjusted, I guess, to reflect what they're actually doing or what the needs are of the district, is that ever a situation with some of these classified individuals whose hours change where we provide back pay, or it's always effective on the date that it was ratified?
Great question, trustee. So ultimately, you'll see a date on here when it becomes effective. It could very well be that an individual's been working in that capacity, receiving or timesheeting for that. And then once they reach a certain number of days, in this case, it's 20 days of consecutive service, then those hours are owed to them. That's what will happen in a lot of cases. But in some of these, part of it is us just making sure that we're following through when we see those changes in their work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ken?
No questions.
Shane?
Compared to last year, how are we looking as far as our staffing numbers? Are we same, lower? What I'm trying to ask is, have we seen a higher number of resignations than we did last year?
You know what, I would want to go back and take a closer look at that. I know that there was some previous information shared with the board around that. Our resignations are almost keeping up in par with a lot of our hirings. I will tell you, I'm very fortunate. In the last couple of big hirings we've had multiple candidates to consider, which has been very different than I've seen the last couple of years being here with Amador County Office of Education. So we're going to continue to get postings out, and where we have resignations, work with our superintendent, getting those up and posted so we can try to make a valid effort to get some folks out.
And we haven't drilled down to the exact number, but I think we're not seeing a wave like where it's significantly higher than normal. It seems like a very regular year is what it's appearing like when it comes to resignations and retirements.
Okay, thank you.
And that's for both COE and USD?
All right, if there's no more questions, we're going to go to reports. Mr. Critchfield, do you have any reports?
I do not at this time.
Any board members?
I'm sorry, I did have one minor question about the other item that stated the administrative salary schedule thing.
Oh, yeah.
Just ask one real
Sorry
quick.
about that. Go ahead.
Quick question about that. Just trying to make sure I understand. It seems to be that, for example, we look at the FY27 edited version, we have both a program specialist position under the certificated and one under classified. Do we have a lot of people in both those categories, or is it pretty pretty more one side than the other? Just trying to understand the difference, I guess.
Yeah, so the reason for this change was more of it was just necessary to add the classification on the, well, for classified, as the position could be either or. And so it just really more depends if they have prior experience in a certificated manner, if they have a credential. So it just kind of depends on the individual, whether to say how many are falling on each. It just kind of depends on the individual. I don't know what the offhand how many we have on either side, but I believe the majority of this classification are falling into the classified, but I could be mistaken on that. Certificated, sorry.
So most of them are from an educational certificated background, but we're filling a need for some of these other, okay.
Correct.
And obviously, the salary amounts are identical, and that's not the issue. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
understand.
It was just making it available on both sides more than anything.
Thank you.
Is there any more questions regarding 14.2A?
No, sorry.
No, no worries. 15, reports, Mr. Critchfield, no report. Any board members have reports?
Just a minor bit of praise that I would like to share. I was told that there was negotiations recently, and want to make sure I quote this correctly. I was told, quote, "I am in negotiations with Adrian, and I am appreciating his expertise." So, thank you for doing what you do and and making this stuff happen. I know it's never easy, that process of trying to, well, I'm assuming, having never been in negotiations, that it's not necessarily an easy thing. So, thank you.
No report.
I also have no report, so we're going to, the next board meeting will be
May 13th.
May 13th, same room, 5:30 PM. And the county meeting is adjourned.
Let's go right into it.
Okay, we're going to call to order the Amador County Unified School District Board meeting, April 22nd. Board members are present, minus Ms. Kayla Parker. She's at home sick. Are there any public comments on closed session items? I don't see anybody in the room that has closed session comments. We're going to go into closed session now. Okay, we're going to suspend closed session and come back to the meeting. Agenda item 7 in closed session, 5.7, liability claim, government code, section 54956.95, claimant number 20260573771 was rejected with a 4-0 vote. And then 5.8, liability claim, claimant number 20260577785 was rejected as well, with a 4-0 vote. We're gonna call the meeting to order. All board members are here, except Ms. Parker, she's at home sick. Student board members are present as well. We're gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we have the American Legion here this evening to do a flag folding ceremony for us. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Bob Bonilla, and I'm the Judge Advocate of American Legion Post 108. And I have something, just a quick read, just to introduce the flag folding. I can find it. Good evening. Who are we? We are veterans from the American Legion Post 108 of Jackson. Excuse me. Our post would like to thank Haley for her assistance along with the Amateur School Board of Education that has given us the opportunity to provide the United States flag for our local schools. We will begin by presenting the procedure of folding of our flag. Gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are the Honor Guard of American Post 108. At the end of this service, we will fire a rifle, which we won't do, play taps. All veterans are invited to stand and render a hand salute as taps is played. Of course, we won't do that. Okay. Today, we're here to honor the military service of your loved one. The United States has for a long time called its young men and women and sent them into harm's way. When called, they went, both in times of peace and in times of war. They went to serve our nation and our nation's ideals. Our Lord has a special place for those who have served him and our country in the armed forces of this great nation. It is in recognition of that service that we honor this veteran today. In John 11:25 and 26, Jesus said unto Martha, the sister of Lazarus, I am the resurrection of the life, saith the Lord. He who believes in me shall live, even though he dies. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. The flag folding ceremony represents the same religious principles on which our country was founded. The portion of the flag that donating honor is a canton of the blue containing the stars and represents the states our veterans served in uniform. The canton field of blue dresses from left to right and is inverted when draped as a pall on a casket of a veteran who has served our country in uniform. In the armed forces of the United States, at the ceremony of retreat, the flag is lowered, folded in a triangle fold, and kept under watch throughout the night as a tribute to our nation's honored dead. The next morning it is brought out and at the ceremony of reveille run aloft as a symbol of our belief in the resurrection of the body. The first fold of our flag is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in the eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of the veteran departing our ranks who gave a portion of life for the defense of our country and attaining peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature. For as American citizens trusting in God, it is to Him we turn in times of peace and as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country, for in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country in dealing with other countries, may she always be right. But it is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where our hearts lie. It is with our hearts that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all enemies, whether they be found within or without the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that we might see the light of day and honor Mother on whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold in the eyes of the Hebrew citizen represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold in the eyes of the Christian citizen represents the emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. When the flag is completely folded, the stars are uppermost, reminding us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded, tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones. We were followed by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today.
Sergeant at Arms, can you please bring the flags up? We have 9 flags. They're for the 9 schools that we were unable to bring the flags physically over to the schools. We did bring flags to Pioneer Elementary, Pine Grove Elementary, Jackson Elementary, and so we decided to bring the flags here. These flags are for backups for the schools when they weathered, whatever they want to do. I kept them wrapped so they're not going to get dirty or anything. So we want to give these to you, and if this, after these, or if you need any more, contact us at American Legion Post 108, and we'll go ahead and give you a return. Okay? All right, thank you for allowing us to come this evening.
Thank you.
Wow, that was some powerful stuff. Thank you, gentlemen. We're going to move on to presentations and recognitions. Agenda item 9.1, Amador High School.
That's a tough act to follow, but we are going to do our best. So, got a couple notes written down about some of our staff members that we are going to highlight tonight. Granted, these few notes that I share today are probably not near enough for how much these staff members and all of our staff members do for our student population at our school. So, but we are here to celebrate a handful of our colleagues. So good evening, members of the board, district administration, all of our colleagues here tonight, community members, and then a couple of our favorite students sitting up there as well. Tonight, I have the privilege of recognizing a group of our outstanding professionals at Amador High School. These individuals exemplify what it truly means to serve students with excellence, dedication, and their heart. While Jessica and I are fortunate to have many incredible staff members, I would like to highlight 4 individuals whose daily work consistently goes above and beyond expectations. Each of these educators and staff members perform their role at the highest possible standard. They don't simply meet the expectations outlined in their job descriptions. They have redefined them. They take on additional responsibilities without hesitation, but not because they are asked to, but because they are driven by a deep commitment to our students and our community. What unites these individuals is not just their excellence, but their mindset. They consistently place students at the center of every one of their decisions. They understand that relationships matter, that when students feel valued, supported, and connected, they're able to thrive. These staff members are willing to go beyond their comfort zones and give more of their time and take on extra responsibilities because they know the benefit of students or to the students far outweighs any personal inconvenience. And so with that in mind, I'll share a few notes about each one of our honorees tonight. So our first honoree is our campus supervisor, Corey Doris. Corey exemplifies what it means to be student-centered. She builds meaningful relationships that create a sense of belonging and trust. Her work goes far beyond the classroom or assigned duties. She shows up for students in ways that have lasting impact on their confidence and well-being. Corey has only been the campus supervisor for 1 year, but has staff members singing her praises and comparing her presence to that of the good old times. Claire Dare whipping around the campus in her golf cart spreading fear and joy. Corey has taken on the difficult task of supervising the whole campus and created a feeling of home for the students. They not only seek her approval when questioning things, they rush in the morning to find her to share a smile. They respect her deeply when she expresses concern for their behaviors. And our campus is made better every day by Corey. And now we will get to see her utilize those skills in the front office with her family or with our families as she is shifting to the office attendance position. So thank you, Corey. Our second honoree is Yvonne Moko, a special education teacher at Amador High School. Yvonne is a cornerstone of support and care within our school. Her commitment to students is evident in every interaction she pours her heart into. She prioritizes what is best for students even when it requires personal sacrifice, demonstrating a level of compassion and dedication that inspires everyone around her. Yvonne is a first-year teacher in her second career, but does not exhibit the traditional growing pains of a first-year teacher. She has hit the ground running in the special education department that needed an emotional uplift and provided a reliable student advocate to all of her students. Yvonne has translated her military training and integrity to the classroom where she both raises the bar for her students and then supports them to get over it at the same time. Thank you, Yvonne. Our next honoree is not nearly as new to teaching. Greg Wall is a history teacher at Amador. Greg Wall consistently demonstrates professionalism and reliability that set a positive tone for those around him. His willingness to step in, solve problems, and support both students and colleagues speaks volume about his character. Greg is a well-seasoned teacher, Yet he doesn't settle for his good lesson yesterday and instead strives to provide a better one tomorrow. Greg continually refines his practice, reworking lessons and adapting his approach to better meet the needs of today's students' learning. He works diligently to develop relationships with students and their families, making him an asset to our growing MTSS support system. When an unexpected mid-year vacancy arose in the athletic director position, Greg could have easily just chuckled at me with empathy, which I expected, but instead he proactively approached me with a solution. He offered to serve in a role on an interim basis, ensuring continuity and strong support for the new administrative team. His selfless commitment to meeting our campus needs made a meaningful difference at Amador and to myself, allowing a father to make it home to watch his kids play in the games instead of staying in the office for an extra 4 hours to do the athletic director work as well, an impact for which I am truly grateful. And lastly, Amador High School would like to honor Matt Kantak, also a history teacher at Amador. Matthew Kantak brings energy. Matt Kantak brings energy, innovation, and an unwavering dedication to student success every day. He continually looks for ways to improve the student experience, often investing extra time and effort to ensure that every student feels seen, supported, and challenged to grow. Matt's dedication to the teaching profession is not only commendable, but admirable. Oftentimes, athletes are encouraged to not cheat the game, which alludes to getting everything out of the opportunity by doing everything right. Matt does not cheat the game when it comes to teaching. As an administrator, it is easy to trust him with important responsibilities, knowing he will follow through with both reliability and high-quality work. Matt also has a unique ability to break through the barriers often put up by students, building an authentic working relationship that redefine what student support can look like. With a PMA, or a positive mental attitude, as he has termed it, Matt took on a responsibility of leading our school's WASC self-study process this year. The daunting task was well out of his comfort zone, but as always, he dove in and dedicated countless hours to ensure a successful completion. Thank you, Matt. And lastly, just in a time when the demands on educators continue to grow, we believe it to be both important and necessary to recognize those who rise to meet those challenges with integrity and purpose. Greg, Matt, Corey, and Yvonne represent the very best of Amador High School. On behalf of all of us there, thank you for your commitment, your passion, and your unwavering focus on doing what's right for our students.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget your picture with Haley, please, all of you, even you, Mr. Wall.
Under that same agenda, item 9, we're gonna go into the transportation department. Ms. Lemke. I thought you brought the board, Candy. Right.
So I feel like I'm kind of at a disadvantage because I don't really know my employees that well yet, being new to the district, but also I was put at an advantage because the ones that spoke the most to me are the ones I get to represent tonight. Only one of them was able to come. Chris was sick tonight, and I'll talk about her first. Chris is our administrative assistant. She is truly the steady heartbeat of our transportation office. On most mornings, we're short-staffed, as most people know. She is there at 5:45 helping cover the phones, the radios, sign out the keys for the drivers so that everything goes smoothly. She manages the parent concerns, staff needs, community questions, student bus pass issues, and emergency communications with professionalism, patience, grace. She goes above and beyond in helping train and support staff in our programs while handling all the administrative demands in the department with remarkable knowledge and ease. And all of those are outside of her job description, most of them. And what stands out the most is her commitment to the entire team. She stays late, supports the office until the evening dispatcher returns, makes sure important details are communicated, and that anything affects the evening or the next day is addressed. She's definitely my right hand, and her care, professionalism, dedication to students, families, and staff are truly exceptional, and definitely my privilege to give her this when she comes back. And then the next one is for James Stone, one of our school bus drivers. I had the privilege of riding James's route and personally watching the way he interacts with the students, the staff, and parents. What stands out immediately is that James truly has the heart for students, and they know it. From the moment they step onto his bus until he safely hands them over to the school, those students are his responsibility, and he treats them with consistent care and respect. That kind of steady patience builds trust and shows in the way the students respond to him. James also brings the same positivity in the adults around him. He goes out of his way to acknowledge staff, offer encouragement, and keep people smiling. He notices the good in others and takes the time to say it, which makes our department feel like family. James represents exactly what we hope for our drivers, and it's my privilege to honor you.
Thank you.
And then, okay. Our last one, Leanne Kelly, she is on a field trip. And so she was unable to make it. Another one of our school bus drivers, she drives special needs. Leanne leads with her heart, passion, and deep commitment to the student. When she brings a student concern forward, I know she has already taken the time to think through possible triggers, how to de-escalate the situation, do everything she can to support the student in a positive way. She goes above and beyond to make sure students feel safe, valued, and cared for. And what student-first mindset is exactly what we want our department to represent. What makes Leanne especially remarkable is that her care extends beyond just her role, whether it's helping with student issues, cleaning buses, or even stepping in and handling the unexpected. She always is willing to help. Her smile and positive attitude and her genuine care for others inspires me personally daily when I come in and see her. So it's definitely my privilege to take back a challenge going to her. Thank you.
All right, those are always great to see. Thank you, Mr. Cagle, Ms. Lemke. We appreciate that. We're going to move on to item number 10, the employee organizations. Ms. Jensen and the Amador County Teachers Association. I do see she's present.
Good evening. Good evening, Superintendent Critchfield, Board of Trustees, Cabinet members, and people in attendance and via computer. I am Acting President Jeannie Jensen, and I appreciate this opportunity to speak before you on behalf of the Amador County Teachers Association, ACTA. At the March 25th board meeting, I misspoke about a number of items which I'd like to apologize for. I spoke of a rumor that site administrators had not received the same 4% pay increase that district office administrators received. This is untrue and verifiable in past board minutes. All administrators except Superintendent Critchfield are receiving the 4% pay increase. I read another person's letter without giving it the same attention to careful word choices I do for my own speaking. The author did not spell Mr. Marzano's name correctly and publicly stated a board member's intention to run. The topic was the trip to Washington, D.C. to secure federal funding for education, which will be spoken about this evening, and I'm looking forward to hearing about it. I made a poor choice by reading the letter and not directing the author to the previous board minutes to see that the trip had been agendized and approved by the board. My intention is to carefully consider the words I use to represent the Amador County Teachers Association and to learn from those mistakes and not make them again. Now, the good news. Well, it's not good yet. We have a tentative agreement. On Monday, ACTA and the district came to a tentative agreement on salary. The executive board met yesterday to start the process of ratification, and the members will meet next Monday to discuss the pay increase along with the number of articles, stipends, and job descriptions prior to voting on ratification. We hope to hear about this at the next board meeting. This is for you. Extension of Prop 55. CTA, along with a strong coalition of other unions, including California Federation of Teachers, California Service Employees Association, Service Employees International Union, California Professional Firefighters, and more, joined efforts to fight for public schools, health care, and other essential services by securing more than 1.6 million signatures to put a permanent extension to Prop 55 on the November ballot. The state Senate budget. Last week, the state Senate released their plan for the state budget. State budget has much more funding to work with than initially announced due to $2 billion miscalculation in Governor Newsom's January budget proposal. ACTA and you are hopeful that these funds will find their way to our school district, helping to attract and retain educators and staff. Thank you for this opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jensen, for your time and your report. We're going to move to number 2, CSEA. Mr. Baird, I don't believe he's here. I don't see him, so we'll keep pushing forward to number 11 with public comments on non-agenda items. The first one is Amador Heart of Gold. Let me, sure.
Okay. So here's our blurb for public comment. A person wishing to be heard by the board shall first be recognized by the president and shall then proceed to comment as briefly as the subject permits. Individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on non-agenda items. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. With board consent, the board president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard. The president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask that additional persons speak only if they have something new to add.
Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. My name is Patricia Anjija, and I am the treasurer for Amador's Heart of Gold. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak with you this evening. A few items that I want to bring to our school community's attention is one, unfortunately, we have learned of a new childhood cancer case here in Jackson. The information is public, so I hope that sharing it is okay. She's 2.5 years old. Her name is Kendall. They do have a Facebook page called Brave Like Kendall, and their information can also be found on the Amador's Heart of Gold Instagram and Facebook pages. In happier news, because I really hate having to ever share that information when we get it, our organization will have a booth at Celebrate Our Children this Saturday from 11 to 3, where we are going to be having our activity of making those tie blankets where they have strips of cloth and you tie them together, so that the kids can all get together and make blankets for our childhood cancer patients. These items are of a lot of comfort when they have to do long hospital stays, so they are very meaningful. Lastly, I want to really emphasize the importance of community togetherness. We have been so fortunate to team up with a group of, kind of like a coalition of cleaning companies, all founded in Amador County by individuals. They're called Mop and Mamas. They have generously donated. When families come home from the hospital, a lot of the children, they're more sensitive to different environmental things that can make them sicker faster. Their blood cell counts aren't good at keeping their immune systems up. So ensuring a clean environment when they come home is of utmost importance, and they have been gracious enough to team up with our organization. Another organization is Black Oak Barbecue Company, Chef Steph. She has been generous enough to donate meals when families come home from the hospital stays, so that they're eating more nutritious things than some of the fast food they get on the road, because a lot of them do go to San Francisco. So I appreciate your time, and thank you for that.
Thank you very much. So we're going to go ahead and call you back up, Ms. Njija, for consent agenda items.
Yes, switching roles. So just bringing back to the board's attention, my name is Patricia Anjija. I am a mom of Ione Elementary students. In the warrants, we have total of 3 charges for MGM transportation, and the total of that is $33,388.75. I know that we discussed at the last board meeting that there are solutions in the works to partner with specifically El Dorado School District to hopefully lower those costs and do kind of like a ride share with our student athletes. So I do hope that we start to see those numbers go down soon, because that is a lot of money to be on our warrants every single time. Yeah, I could see employees getting upset with us spending something on a contracted service rather than our employees. And then just bringing it back to the board's attention with Ms. Parker's suggestion of looking into the service fees for PG&E and then extrapolating to AWA, AT&T, Republic Trash, sorry, I was about to say ACES, and all those other things that have monthly service charges that aren't just for the actual either water or other utilities, just to see if we can get some money somewhere. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that. Is there any board members that have questions in regards to the consent agenda? No questions?
I do. Mr. Critchfield, can you talk about the Aries renewal?
Yeah, I'm just pulling it up. So this is a 5-year renewal for Parent Square. So we moved 2 years ago, 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago to Parent Square. They partnered with Aries to be our all-inclusive communication system. And so in working with Parent Square, our take on working with them has been fantastic. Everything has worked smoothly. Past communication systems we used were very clunky and had numerous issues. This integrates well with our student information system, Aries, since they're a business partner. And this also includes smart sites. And so we also saved considerable money as we were paying for a contractor to manage our websites. And Parent Square then went through a process of being able to power websites as well. And so they are our administrator, and then Haley, as our communications expert in the district, also helps upkeep not just our district website, but also assists all of our schools in keeping their sites up to date. So this is an all-inclusive quote, a longer commitment, you get a better deal. Parent Square is a nationwide company, been very strong, and we felt like getting a better deal on this and doing a 5-year commitment was the best route to go.
And these, years 2 through 5 will obviously fluctuate based on students.
Yeah, so each year we update them with student enrollment because they base their fee off of that.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
So to be clear then, this is not for our student information system, it's purely the communication pieces.
Yeah, that's linked with Aries, correct. This is not for the Aries software itself.
Okay, thank you.
I had one additional question on number 8, the donation to Plymouth Elementary. I don't see what the donation was. Was it just monetary?
I am not sure on that one. We'll have to get back to you.
It appears from the donation that the contribution, there's a $sign. I believe it was a cash donation.
Gotcha.
And you just typically don't say how much the cash donation was, or?
At this point, I would have to check with them and see. Occasionally, we have families who will donate at school and ask to remain anonymous or just keep it very quiet. They'll hand the principal. I had particular grandparents who used to give me money as a principal and asked me to keep it very quiet and do something nice for my teachers. But I can follow up on this and see if that's something.
No, it's not necessary. I just wanted to see if we knew. Thank you.
Problem. All right, I had, something's going on like usual with my iPad, but I had a couple questions regarding the warrants, and I had emailed Mr. Norton in regards to them ahead of time, and the way I did it this time isn't my normal with numbers and fees and stuff, but numbers and prices, but tire replacement at Big Brand, and then also another tire situation with Reliable Tire. The reason I'm asking is because in the boardwalk to transportation, I just wanted to, I feel like I heard something and we asked about tires at the boardwalk and transportation, but we don't do tires at transportation, correct? Do we sub it out?
We do sub it out, yes.
Okay. And we do that because of liability reasons, I believe.
I happened to be with you on the
Right.
joint tour.
Yeah.
So because of the cost of the equipment and liability is the reason we don't do it.
Okay, all right. That's the questions I had about the tire stuff, because I had saw the prices on there. The other things is $19,000 in the MGM transportation. I have been looking at the transportation stuff, and the MGM transportation with athletics. What is this for? Obviously athletics, but
Majority when I looked through them were baseball, softball. I even saw some tennis in there as well.
and that's assuming it's because we were unable to do the rideshare situation that Ms. Lemke was.
Yeah, at this time, from my understanding, there was no other options available.
Okay. And then Heritage Landscape Supply Group overcharge. What was that about?
Yeah, so the vendor had essentially overcharged us. They'd quoted us one price, and when the invoice came through, it was another. And so this was the correction on that invoice.
Okay,
And so that's where you'll see the positive and the negative with it.
right. I saw that on there.
Yeah.
The Avanti Restaurant Solutions and Foothill Appliance.
So these were the food service spending plan pieces. The Avanti restaurant had to do with mainly ovens, and I think I even saw a range in there as well, but it was basic kitchen equipment. The Foothill Appliance was for the walk-in freezer fridge at Amador, and then they also had a freezer at Sutter Creek Primary as well.
When you say Foothill Appliance was for the walk-in fridge at Amador, was it needing a repair? Or was it replaced? Was it
Replace.
installed?
Yeah.
Replace,
So actually, one of the items at the July. No, this was a different one. It was actually a fairly recent one. I was thinking about 2 or 3 meetings ago. We had 3 bids that came through, and so Foothill was the one that was the lowest quality bidder.
That was my next question. If we had gotten extra bids.
Actually, both of these, Avanti as well as Foothill, were the lowest quality bidders at that time. Avanti, we actually had a split bid in their case because there were some items that Avanti did better and some that others did better. So we actually had 3 awards that we presented with that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And then Disneyland tickets.
So this is an annual Avid trip that goes on every year. So the way to purchase it is easier through our district credit card, and so that's what that was.
Okay. I had jumped to my attention $20,000 Sutter Creek sewer services.
Yeah, it pains me every time I see that one, actually. We've called Sutter Creek about it a few different times. They said it's due to a formula, and I've asked for the backup on that formula because it seems odd to me that it would be that high, considering the rest of our schools within that particular zone as well.
Right.
So we're still fighting that one.
Okay, that's interesting. That was all as far as warrants that I had.
I will note, at least with that one, that it has been around that for the last 5 years. It has progressively gotten a little higher, but it's been in the 15 to 20K range since I've been here. So we are looking further into that one.
What is would you happen to know off the top of your head what like the average are for the other?
I don't know offhand, but they are significantly smaller.
Right. It's crazy.
It is joint with Sutter Creek Elementary as well.
It is. It
And
is.
so when you put Sutter Creek Upper Campus with Amador, it accounts for almost 1/4 of our students. So it is, I mean, it's expected to be a higher bill, but we believe it's a little higher than it should be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you for the information. Is there any other questions, comments, concerns regarding the consent agenda? Because this has personnel recommendations, the student board members do not vote, correct? Okay. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve item 12, the consent agenda.
Second.
All right. The roll call vote, Peter,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
I'm also a yes.
Just want to take a quick moment and acknowledge two administrators that were just approved on this consent agenda. Ms. Taverna, Alex Taverna, as principal of Jackson Elementary. To avoid any confusion, just as a reminder, back in October, after the resignation of the principal at the time, we had moved Ms. Taverna to Jackson Elementary on an interim basis. She had been serving as the vice principal at Amador High. And so we went through a process with a panel including numerous Jackson Elementary employees, and Ms. Taverna was selected as the candidate moving forward. So her interim tag will be removed over the summer and will be the principal at Jackson Elementary. And then due to Ms. Taverna's move to Jackson Elementary, that created the vacancy of vice principal at Amador High School, and Jessica McCarty, who has been a teacher there for many years and completed her administrative credential, has stepped up and was selected by the panel of Amador High staff to be their vice principal moving forward. And I want to congratulate both of them.
Congratulations. Thank you for that. So we're going to move on to 14 on the action items.
Yes.
Resolution 2526 in support of the K-12 adult ed.
Correct. Yes, I have Miss Diana Griffin here, our adult ed administrator, who's going to do all the heavy lifting on this one. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. My name is Diana Griffin. I'm the principal of Amador Adult Education, and I thank you for the opportunity to present this resolution tonight. The California Adult Education Administrators Association encourages local districts to recognize Adult Education Week by adopting a resolution that highlights the impact, history, and importance of adult education programs. Using a local resolution provides an opportunity to recognize students and staff, inform the board of the value of these programs, and strengthen community awareness and support. Taking action at the local level helps assure adult education remains visible, valued, and aligned with statewide advocacy efforts. Amador Adult Education is presenting for consideration a resolution recognizing Adult Education Week, April 19th through 25th, this week. Resolution 2026 in support of K-12 adult education. Whereas the first recorded adult education class in California was held in the basement of St. Mary's Cathedral in San Francisco in 1856, the class was authorized by the San Francisco Board of Education to teach English to Irish, Italian, and Chinese immigrants. John Sweat, who was the first volunteer teacher of the class, later became a state superintendent of public instruction. Whereas over 49% of adult learners enrolled in adult schools across California in 2024-25 are between the ages of 25 and 54, making them very likely to have children in our public school systems. The impact of adult education is felt across generations, particularly for early childhood learners who have been characterized as a priority by the governor and legislature. Whereas Amador Adult Education successfully serves Amador County and the surrounding communities through its collaboration with its community college partners and community-based organizations through the adult education system, Amador Adult Education served 145 students in the 24-25 school year, and nearly 187 students so far in the 25-26 school year. Whereas Amador Adult Education provides significant and varied classes and programs to serve Amador County and the surrounding communities, including medical courses, job preparation, including instructional assistant training, high school diploma and equivalency programs, or GED prep, English as a second language classes, and citizenship classes. Whereas Amador Adult Education continues to provide critical programming and services to our adult education students and their families via literacy and basic skills to help ensure our K-12 students were successful as they finish the school year. Whereas the state of California will proclaim Adult Education Week during the week of April 19th through April 25th, 2026. And whereas the Board of Trustees of the Amador County Unified School District strongly support adult education as an important part of ACUSD. Be it therefore resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Amador County Unified School District strongly urge the Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, and the California Legislature to recognize the important role of K-12 adult education in addressing the needs of our communities in the short and long term, and to increase access to programs and services for the most in need and not yet reached members of our great state. So we are asking that the board vote to adopt Resolution 2026 for Adult Education Week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Griffin.
Thank you for reading that. Okay, is there any questions regarding the resolution? If not, motion to approve it.
Move to approve item 14.1, resolution 2025-2026-16 in support of K through K-12 adult education.
Second. With the student board member vote, Ms. Patterson?
Yes.
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 I'm also a yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
14.2, also another resolution, the TRAN tax revenue anticipation note. Mr. Norton?
Thank you. This is a companion item to the county side. The attached Amador County Unified School District resolution seeks authorization from the governing board to participate in the California Schools Cash Reserve Program for the issuance and sale of tax and revenue anticipation note, or otherwise referred to as a TRAN, for the 26-27 fiscal year. So this is for next year. This resolution would approve the maximum borrowing amount of $7 million. This authorization limit represents the maximum amount that could be borrowed. It does not obligate the district to pursue a TRAN or to execute one for the full $7 million. And for reference, in terms of this year, we executed for 5, even though we were authorized for 7 this current year. And so the actual amount will be determined once budget is built. The cash flow for next year is fully finalized, so we know what is necessary. But why is this necessary? As I've kind of explained before, it has to do more so with a cash crunch that we have at 2 different time periods throughout the fiscal year. The district itself, 70% of its LCFF funding comes from property taxes. And so for the most part, those come in at 2 different points throughout the year, in December and in April. And so as we lead into those months, October, November, there are times where we can come into a cash crunch because essentially we're paying out expenses evenly basically throughout the year, but our revenues come in not as quite as equal. So that is the necessity for it. So at this time, I recommend that the board approve this resolution, and I'm available for any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Norton. Are there any questions?
I just appreciate that you're answering questions before we can even ask them. So that's helpful to know that, as stated here in the notes, that the cost of issuance is largely offset by interest earned, and that we didn't need to actually borrow the full 7 last year. Thank you.
No questions.
Jane, any questions?
No questions.
Ladies, any questions? Okay, so no more questions or discussion. Entertain a vote.
Move to approve. Sorry. I move to approve item 14.2, resolution ACUSD 2526 through -17 through 2627, the tax revenue anticipation note.
Second.
Okay, student board members vote. Peyton?
Yes.
Claire?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
I also am a yes. Thank you. Agenda item 14.3, another resolution, intent to grant easement to Mr. Stacy Case.
Correct. Thank you. So yes, this is an intermediary step, not a final step. Mr. Case purchased a property on Spanish Street below Amador High School. If you're familiar with that area, the hillside below the tennis courts is also district property, and he bought the property adjacent to that just as you're heading down the hill, Spanish Street. And in exploring construction options for building a home, it would be best if he could cut the corner across our property for an easement. This obviously would need to be negotiated at a cost, which is yet to be determined, but this resolution is intended to initiate that process, and we would work with District Legal Counsel and Mr. Case to come on a settled agreement that would then come back to the board for final approval. So tonight is an authorization of intention to grant the easement pending those negotiations, and then a final resolution, which could be brought forth as soon as our next board meeting, depending on how things go over the next few weeks. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Oh, and one other thing, we have no intended use for that corner of the property. If you've seen that hillside, it is extremely steep. So we have no intended use for that small corner of the property.
Thank you, Mr. Critchfield. Are there any questions regarding?
Forgive my ignorance of the magical legal term easement, but is this a transfer of ownership or strictly a use?
No, just use, and there would be a aspect for during construction. I mean, essentially, this is for a driveway.
Right.
To be able to, with the steepness of the property, for him to reasonably get a driveway to where he would like to place the home, cutting across that corner decreases the incline of that driveway. And so we would still be the property owner, but there would be an easement agreement.
Got it.
That would state that.
Thank you.
Do we have, sorry, is this in the same vicinity of where we had the blowout of the hillside?
It's about 100 yards away. It's right on going down Spanish Street, but it's on the far end of the property.
Did that incident where the blowout was, did those utilities, wasn't there utilities that they had failed?
It was an old sprinkler line, yeah.
Does that impact this? Does that go through this?
No, but as part of the requirement, there'll be a full utility survey just in case there's something we missed on that corner of the property.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Ken?
No questions.
I like the way Peter said, forgive my ignorance, I'm going to use that. Even though we're going to still be the owners, that we have no liability of anything?
No, the easement would put the onus on his property and his, just as they're having access. It would be an access and a easement to be able to, you know, essentially, for most intents and purposes, it would appear that he would be the property owner of that corner of property. He would be responsible maintaining it and his driveway and all those things, but we would retain ownership of that.
If there was some sort of soil failure, grading failure, any kind of failure,
that would be his liability, yes.
Okay. All right. Any questions, ladies? No? Okay, we look for a motion for this item.
Move to approve item 14.3, resolution 2025/26-18, intent to grant easement to Stacy Case.
Second.
Okay, student board member vote, Peyton,
Yes.
Claire,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Shane.
Yes.
I also am an aye.
Thank you.
14.4 is an MOU, High Road School Nurse Residency Project. Mr. Palazuelos.
Yes, sir. All right, trustees, gives me great pleasure to bring this forward to you. This is a unique opportunity in the state of California. It is very rare to find, bless you, school nurses that have the full school nurse credential. With this particular residency project, it's a 2-year state-funded initiative. It started July 1 of 2025, goes to June 30th of 2027, and the whole intention is to try to increase the workforce with the school nurse credential. There are certain requirements. They have to, in this particular case, they're looking at 150 school nurses in economically challenged communities. There are criteria as districts with at least 50% free and reduced lunch participation, which we're part of that. And the other component is they need already be nurses within the school. So we actually have 2 of our nurses that do not have the school nurse credential that are interested in this. It did require us to work with our labor partners, in this case ACTA, the Amador County Teachers Association, Attached to this item, you'll see a MOU that was signed by both our superintendent and Jeannie Jensen, the president of ACTA. If the board were to approve this tonight, it would give us the ability to then formalize our relationship with the High Road School Nurse Residency Project. And as soon as that's complete, then our nurses will have the ability to apply to be considered for this program. There's no fiscal impact to the district. There are requirements, though, that we cannot essentially use. We would never receive the funding ourselves, but if we already had funding earmarked for these folks, the nurses, to obtain their credential, it wouldn't allow us to then remove that funding and take this funding in exchange for that. So essentially, this is a unique opportunity. It's also a very positive opportunity. School nurse credentials are very rare. They take quite a bit of work. It's more than just the RN, the registered nurse, or an LVN, and we would request approval.
Thank you, Dr. Palazuelos. Are there any questions regarding this agenda item?
You seem to suggest that this is kind of a one-time opportunity, or that this doesn't come around very often, that this is only this unique window, or is this a renewable thing?
So this is the first time it's come through in many, many years. So this is unique in that it is 100% available. They've already had 2 cohorts go through using institutions here in the state as the leads that have nursing credential programs already. And so once the money's run out, there's been no further discussion on renewing it. So the sooner we can, if the board were to support this, the sooner we can get the application process going, the higher the advantage is for our nurses to be able to be competitive for a spot to earn their credential.
Thank you.
Ken?
No questions.
Shane?
No, just that it sounds like a good opportunity for the district.
For sure. Absolutely. I appreciate that, Mr. Palazuelos. To err on the side of caution, we're not going to have the student board members vote on it because it's a personnel situation. Yes? Okay, so we can get a motion to approve.
I move to approve item 14.4, MOU High Road School Nurse Residency Project.
Second.
All right, the roll call vote. Peter?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
I'm also a yes. In the spirit of moving forward, number 5.
Absolutely, I can take that on. Sunshine
Absolutely.
proposals for 26, 27. Sorry, Trustee Marzano. So before you are the sunshine proposals. There's 2 documents. One is a document from the Amador County Teachers Association to the Amador County Unified School District. And the second is the Amador County Unified School District to the Amador County Teachers Association. These would be the articles that we would specifically discuss and work with in negotiations during the 2026-2027 school year for their successor agreement. And we're recommending approval.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions from the board members?
Are we allowed to ask on any of these numbered items, or is that?
So I would say, Trustee Crow, you can definitely ask as far as rationale or why. It would not be something we'd be able to discuss here. Ultimately, the association reserves the right to put forward whatever articles they're interested in negotiating. And as such, the district reserves that right as well. But yeah, if you've got questions, if I can't answer, I will tell you. But if you have it, I can do my best.
I guess the only question I would have is in regards to class size. Plus, increasing, decreasing, just curious.
And you're referring to the ACTA Sunshine, Article 7, class size and student information? Yeah. Right. And so I will tell you that it is, Article 7 has quite a bit of information on it with respect to class size, and so it could be any number of items or an item that the union is interested in negotiating with us. We won't know until we get into the negotiation session to learn what the specific interest is. You got it?
Any other questions for the board members?
Well, feeling validated by my Celia Turner phrase of willingly, publicly expressing my ignorance and desire to learn, and perhaps for public members who also are feeling a little ignorant, the term sunshine Is that meant to say shine a light on or allow us to see or allow us to talk about these things? Is that the gist of the concept?
Yeah, and now I would say it goes back, so under the Educational Employment Relations Act, there is a requirement in the law that the bargaining unit and the district or the employer are opening their interests into the light. So essentially, they're making the parties aware of what we're interested in negotiating. And so it is April 22nd, and I would say a fantastic opportunity with our bargaining partners. We're already announcing what we're interested in negotiating for the next school year. And it is a requirement under law. If we, there is a provision that in the event that there's other items or articles that we're interested in discussing once we get into the table, there is a provision under law where we can actually sunshine mutually an item that is not part of this list. It doesn't come to the board, but it is announced and it has to be made public, and then at a future meeting it can be discussed. But the whole premise of it is to make others aware of it, to open it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for shedding light on that.
You got it.
So with Jeannie's announcement tonight that we've potentially reached a salary increase agreement, is that why wages aren't on this list? And what about healthcare?
Fantastic question. So I could not answer for you what the interests are of the association. I will tell you that we did reach a tentative agreement with our labor partners, but it would not be something I could discuss here. Provided successful ratification by the unit, the soonest we could potentially see it here is the next meeting on the 13th of May. So.
Okay, and so neither our agreement to them and what they sent us doesn't involve health benefits at all for next year, since we do renew in the middle of the year? How is that going to get addressed?
Well, the way that it could be addressed, if you don't mind me, Superintendent Critchfield, there's a couple of pieces. Number one is we do have language that we agreed to previously around health and welfare benefits, and when we would revisit it, it's in our contract and there's a requirement. It doesn't require the sunshine process. And then the second piece is what I just described a bit ago, Ken, is that if we got into a situation where it was something that was of mutual interest to both parties, because CalPERS made a different change in their approach, we could sunshine as part of a labor negotiation session and then make that available and notice, and then negotiate at a different session or second session.
Yeah, I understood that. I just didn't understand why it wouldn't just be on there just as a starting point. So I appreciate that answer.
You got it.
Any other questions? Okay, we're going to, because it is negotiations, student board members are not going to vote. Get a motion to approve A and B.
Make a motion to approve item 14.5. Make a motion to approve item 14.5, sunshine proposals for 26-27, A and B.
Second.
Okay, down the row, Peter?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
I also am a yes. 15 are discussion items. 15 is a discussion item. 15.1, Mr. Critchfield.
Yes, first, want to apologize. Just during closed session, I was informed that the main computer here died, and so we do not have a reliable connection right now to our presentation screen. There is a presentation that we put together, and so for those of you who have electronic devices, you can pull that up via our board agenda. And so, yes.
Can we table this till the next meeting?
Yeah.
And then Kayla could possibly be here also?
I'm fine with that if the rest of the board is fine with that, and hopefully at that point the screen will be working.
If you could make a motion to.
Can I ask one question right
Yeah.
now? I'd like to get what the cost was, total cost was of the trip.
Okay, we can provide that when we present at the next
Yeah,
one.
you have to.
So I'd like to make a motion that we table this item till the next meeting so that Kayla Parker can be here and possibly our audio video will be working.
Second.
Okay, down the row, Ms. Payton,
Yes.
Claire,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
Shane.
Yes.
Aye. Okay,
Thank you.
so we table that until the next board meeting. 16, the amazing board policy updates.
These ones sit with Mrs. Horn. So if there are any questions We did have discussion on these two board policies last board meeting, but that was nearly a month ago. So if there are other things that have come up in that time or any other questions, now would be your opportunity. And Mrs. Horn is always well prepared with her notes on board policies that pertain to her department.
Okay, I would just like to note that I appreciate that you did answer some questions regarding the process, that we cleared up a discrepancy on the numbers, on the graduation requirements and why, and that there was a committee involved and teachers had a voice in that. That's all wonderful. And as stated during the county meeting, I think it's wonderful that we are making it very clear that we have a process for transfer of coursework and credits for highly mobile students. Certainly in Manteca Unified, we have a lot of migrant students who miss significant portions of the year. And so even if we can give partial credit for what time they do spend learning, I think that's fabulous, and so glad that we have mechanisms in place for that.
All right. These are action items, yes. Is there any questions, concerns regarding these board policies?
Any concerns about those graduation requirements? Are we
You want to change anything while you got the chance?
Not to talk about it so out in the open. I'm not too worried about our two students at
Right.
the end meeting grad requirements.
Okay, if we can get a motion to approve.
Move to approve item 16.1, board policy updates, 6,000 series.
Second.
Okay. Ms. Payton?
Yes.
Ms. Claire?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
Shane?
Yes.
I am an aye. Thank you. Board reports, Mr. Critchfield?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. I want to thank Good Day Sacramento. A couple weeks ago, they came out and we were highlighting the school farm. And so they did multiple interviews. First interviews were in the morning with students out at the farm, and it was dumping rain, and they still did it. It was awesome. And Mr. Pingree and I were out there as well. And then we also moved over to Argonaut High Cafeteria, and they interviewed our food service staff there, who did a phenomenal job. It was really fun to see them get interviewed as well. Just appreciate that opportunity from Good Day Sacramento, highlighting the good things going on with the farm. They were successful in planting another, I believe, acre of land. And so I was told that once a big portion of that were tomatoes, that we're going to be getting to a point where we'll be producing 200 to 300 pounds of tomatoes every 2 weeks. And so it's pretty exciting, and we're working on summer plans for the farm as well. As we know, a lot of that food will be harvested during the summer recess. I was down in Sacramento the last couple of days working with the California County Superintendents Association. We did not talk about our federal advocacy trip last week, but it's been an advocacy couple of weeks for me. And so today we were at the state annex to the Capitol, meeting with various assembly members and state senators to discuss the education budget in particular, and discuss the need for more support for schools. In particular, some of the items that we honed in on were the community schools monies. There's a proposal, as you know, we have our wellness center that was built up through our community schools grant, and our family resource center that is located at Jackson Junior High. And those were, the proposal is now to fold that into other funding, and it appears that that could get lost in the shuffle. And so we were advocating for the monies to be put directly towards that, as we've had successful opening to our family resource center and our wellness centers, but those, we need sustained funds to keep those fully operational to help the non-academic needs of our students and families, which we know at sometimes can be quite severe. We also were advocating for, against, I'm trying to figure out the right way to say this. In the governor's proposal, he put forward something similar to what he did the prior year that was tabbed a maneuver. I will save my editorial comments to what the maneuver is, but essentially it's reducing the Prop 98 obligation, which is in the Constitution of our state and should be a floor for school funding. And there's a proposal to maneuver over $5 billion out of Prop 98 with the promise that it will be put back in later. We are not in support of that maneuver. And so we spent a considerable amount of time with the staff and state assembly members in advocating for when the budget is enacted. That was in the governor's January proposal, so it's nothing codified yet, but May revise is just around the corner. May revision of the budget will actually come out the day after our next board meeting, so May 14th, May 13th is our next board meeting. And so we felt it was important to get in the ear of our state legislatures to let them know that this is not anywhere near what Prop 98 was intended to do. And, you know, the conversation should be about increasing Prop 98, not taking money away from Prop 98. And so those were two of our big advocacy points. I believe over 40 of the 58 county superintendents were in attendance. And so the California County Superintendent staff does a phenomenal job of coordinating and setting up all those meetings and then setting it up in a way where we're going 2 to 5 at a time. Like one of the meetings today was with a assemblyman staffer who's very high up and influential, this staff member, and it was just 2 of us. And so we had a very long conversation about things going on, and we hope that that bears fruit in our state budget. That's all I have for my report tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Critchfield. That's amazing information. Ladies, Peyton, do you have a board report?
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'd like to start my report off with our ASB report. So our ASB and Avid seniors are still going to go to the Senior Disney Night coming up here soon. And a small group of our, mostly underclassmen, but still some of the juniors went to Castle this past weekend, which is down in Ontario in LA. And they all had a wonderful time learning and supporting each other during their leadership experience. And I, all day in class today, I could not stop hearing anything. It was all about Castle, and it was really fun to hear all their perspectives and everything about it. A lot of our junior class is getting ready for the 2026 prom at the Domenico Winery in Ione on May 9th. And our annual Y Games in honor of Dylan Yoakum is being held on May 8th, the day before. And we have lots of outdoor activities and food trucks to compete and celebrate another successful year. And that's always a fun day to come and just enjoy the outdoors and be outside with everyone. On May 5th, we're also hosting our annual blood drive. So if anyone's interested in donating, come by to schedule a slot for donation. We just have to fill out a piece of paper and then make sure you eat lots of iron and hydrate a lot. Our ASB is working really hard on our spring rally. And normally spring rally or school rallies are held inside of our gym, but we like to spice things up at the end of the year and take it to the field. So when it gets nice and sunny outside, we like to play a lot of water games and we do a lot of fun activities up there. Just to shout out our spring sports and celebrate the final semester before graduation. And our sports, track, there was a meet today at Galt High School. I know that our track team has expanded so much since my freshman year at high school. We've had so many more underclassmen this year getting a lot of the top slots in gold and silver and placing very high on the podium, I think it is in track. But for tennis, we did get co-champions with Argonaut for league. And this next week, well, it was supposed to be this week, but it got rained out. So next week is the start of the league tournament in Elk Grove at the Laguna Creek Sports Complex, if anyone's interested in coming to watch. So that's for both the singles and doubles teams. Our softball team is currently 3rd in league, and they play at Rosemont tomorrow. Same with our baseball team. They're also 3rd in league, and they play El Dorado. They were supposed to play them tonight, but it got rained out, so they play them tomorrow and Friday, and then they close their league with Argonaut next week. And that is all I have for today.
Thank you, Peyton. I would like to say that I appreciate your commitment to the senior assassin with your goggles on. It's a testament that you will not get caught slacking at any point in time. I appreciate that. Claire, can we have your report as well?
Yeah, so, sorry, my voice is kind of weird right now. So for ASB, we also just went to Castle, but we got to fly instead, which was, I preferred that much more than sitting in a car for 7 hours. But it was super fun. And Colton Scobie, he's a junior. He's going to be next year's ASB president. He applied to be on the Castle State Board, so it's like ASB state officers. And he is now one of the northern directors, and out of 2,000 people, 7 of them got chosen, which is super exciting. We were all so hyped for him when he opened up that letter in front of us. I'm so excited for him, and he'll be able to travel to different places to go meet up with the other people in his region, and he'll be putting on next year's Castle conference, which I'm just so excited for him. It's such a big deal. And then we have our spring showcase on May 7th. It's basically a back to school night, but it's to show off all the students' hard work this year. So everyone is very encouraged to come. It's from 5:30 to 7. There's going to be a lot of different displays out, clubs, all that stuff. And we have the blood drive next Wednesday. There's still some more slots if you guys want to sign up too. And then for FFA, like Mr. Critchfield is saying, last week, 2 weeks ago, we had Good Day Sacramento come out, and that was very fun, but did get poured on, so I looked like a wet dog. And then FFA officer elections for Argonaut are underway. And today, Tier 2 floral certifications took place. So I think it was about 3 students went and they had to complete, I think, 4 identical arrangements in 2 hours, which is very difficult. So I did not go and do that. And then for sports, tennis is tied with Amador for first in the league, and then they go to playoffs next week. I didn't have much for baseball and softball. I wasn't able to get in contact with time with players, but baseball is 7-11, and softball is 14-7. And then for track, they had the meet at Galt today, and Ace Tisserand, Mariana Lopez, Will May, and Will Bethel won in the 4x1. Freddie Favre ran 2 miles in 9 minutes and 58 seconds, which I think is very impressive. I can't even run a mile in that time. And then Mariana Lopez PR'd running 100 in 11.3 seconds. And then our boys golf is undefeated and had their best match against Bradshaw Christian. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Peter, board report.
Thank you for explaining the goggles.
Yeah, I've been dealing with it the last week.
There's stories there that
annoying
are a thing. I don't have anything significant to report, but I do want to again endorse and appreciate the ongoing efforts. Haley choosing to come right up and say, okay, more board visits, let's go. This is the day, let's make this happen. So I do think that's important that we have opportunities to visit our schools and see what's going on, especially as there are changes. Well, the only constant is change, it seems. So I'm grateful for that, to the chance to be involved and have a better understanding.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter. Ken?
I have no comments, just a couple questions. First to Claire and Peyton, can you tell me what the castle is that you went to?
Oh, I didn't go personally, but a lot of the.
Drop something.
Oh, it's just a piece of wood. Sorry.
Claire, did you go?
Yeah, this was my 3rd year going, so I've been going since Argonaut Amador started going, so I can. It's like a leadership conference. You attend several workshops about leadership, and the people who put it on are also they're mostly. It can vary from freshmen to seniors in high school. So it's everyone your age, just very strong leaders. And it's all these kids in ASB from all over California, kids from schools that have 2,500 people. And it's very cool to see the diversity of these schools. And we get to bring back lots of ideas back to school. I have a whole notebook full of just ideas I want to bring back, our breast cancer, football game, with all the shirts and all that came from Castle, that idea. And yeah, there was a carnival, we had a dance, which was very sweaty.
Don't say anything more about the dance.
But yeah, it's just a big conference with all these amazing ASB kids. And it's just amazing. I'm so excited to go back next year.
Yeah, so both of our ASB groups had fundraised and other stuff to be able to send our student leaders down to that conference, which is a statewide conference held every year. And they just, like Claire said, every year they come back, they just find it very useful, and it gives them so many ideas on how they can lead their schools once they return.
Great, thank you. And I have a couple of requests. next time, Good Morning Sacramento or anybody's going to do a story on us, would it be possible for us to get an email like the day before so we
Sure.
would be able to watch that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
Haley has the clips, so I'll have her send those out.
Oh, that would be cool. Thank you. And then also, I'm wondering if on the next board meeting, we can make an item where you maybe give us a quick update on what's going on with CEQA.
Okay.
I'd just like to hear about where we're at with that.
Absolutely.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you, Ken, for that. Shane?
Nothing to report.
Okay, I'm going to hold off on my report regarding DC to wait for the presentation. But I will say a quote that a friend of mine had mentioned, and it just like hit me, and I was like, oh, wow. Totally relatable to the work that we did in Washington, D.C. Relationships will get you into doors that money can never buy. So I appreciate that quote. And with that, we are not going to end the meeting because we have to go back into closed session and handle some business. But we will be back. Yes.